There are a lot of fitness creators on the internet, and most of what you see is more entertainment than actual training. Today, I'm going to be breaking down 3 fitness creators that I think have put out really good exercises, and I'm going to show you why they work and exactly how to plug them into your training. I'm Skylar Parsonette, a certified personal trainer and director of performance at Otaya. If your goal is to move faster, jump higher, and become a more capable athlete, try adding these into your next training session. The first exercise was made possible by none other than Blaine Broads. He's a former World Cup bobsledder and one of the most athletic people on Instagram. The Blaine Broads combine the benefits of a seated broad jump with a box jump. You start seated, explode forward, and land on a box out in front of you. To progress these, you can increase the distance of the box in front of you or the height of it. The benefit of this movement is that they train a high rate of force development while reducing the eccentric forces and loading you get in a broad jump. In other words, it takes the stress off the tendon and puts it on the nervous system to recruit your muscles quickly. Because the landing and eccentric forces are relatively low and there's not too much strain on your tendons, you can program a higher volume of these than your typical plyometrics. I like to put these at the start of my workouts to prime my nervous system before sprints, more plyos, or power cleans. And again, because these are relatively easy on your body, you can add these into your program without having to overhaul the rest of your training volumes. This next exercise was popularized by one of my favorite follows on Instagram, Alec Blennis. Alec is a hybrid athlete who puts up top-tier marathon times and impressive strength numbers. He's especially good at incorporating exercises that train your muscles through a wide range of movement patterns. And these cable leg extensions are no different. They will give you a completely new perspective on how to stretch and train your quads and hip flexors. To do these, use the cuff attachment and attach it to your ankle. Then you're going to sit in a half kneeling position with your knee supported with something soft like a foam pad, and you're going to have the cable set at ankle height. This is a super stable movement. You're going to feel a huge stretch in your quad, rec fem, and other hip flexors. These are an excellent exercise compared to your standard leg extension because they load your quad and hip flexors at the deepest possible stretch. That deep stretch will help you in an athletic context through a process called sarcomerogenesis. Inside every muscle fiber are force units called sarcomeres. You can think of these like links to a chain that shorten to create movement. Sarcomerogenesis is when your body adds links to that chain. This makes the muscle fiber longer, which is then able to move through a bigger range and contract faster. That matters for athletes because longer muscle fibers can produce force quickly without overstraining each part. This helps with explosiveness and may make you more resilient to high-speed, high-stretch movements. The downside of training at these longer muscle lengths are that they cause a lot of fatigue. Unlike the Blaine Broads we talked about earlier, these you have to program a little more carefully. I usually place these towards the end of my workouts after my main lifts for about 1 to 3 sets of 5 to 12 reps. The third exercise is the bent over cable trunk rotations, and they matter because of how the body organizes movement. In athletic actions like sprinting, jumping, kicking, and throwing, power starts at the center of your body and then flows outward through the extremities. That's called proximal to distal sequencing. Your trunk initiates force and your arms and legs finish the movement. Because of this, the muscles closest to your center of mass have to be relatively stronger than the muscles further away. They have more time to produce force so that if your trunk is weak, the rest of your body will underperform. The challenge for coaches has been finding a stable, heavily loaded, and easily progressible way to train your rotational trunk strength. By using a weight belt to lock yourself into the ground and cables to add load, you can finally train your core with forces that actually matter. I've seen on a few different creators' pages, so I'll shout some of them out here. Since we want our core to produce a lot of force, I program these for 2 to 3 sets of 3 to 5 reps alongside my other strength work. I'd recommend doing these after your free weight lifts so your core is still fresh enough to brace for those bigger movements. I want to thank these creators for introducing me to these exercises. I'm a big fan of their work, so you should follow them as well. If you find a good exercise, let me know in the comments, and if you create one, I'd love to highlight you on the channel. And if this helped you think differently about Instagram exercises, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown.